We always knew we wanted 3 or 4 children. And our first 2 pregnancies went pretty smoothly, and we were excited about the 3rd. We decided we weren't going to find out if it was a boy or girl because we wanted to add a little of excitement in this one.
20 weeks into their 3rd pregnancy, Rachel and Silvano Paferi got more excitement than they hoped for. After reviewing 2 ultrasounds, their doctor delivered devastating news.
He looked at us and he said, "Things look very grim." And he just began going through a laundry list of things that were wrong with the baby. Very little amniotic fluid around, there's problems with the brain, problems with the heart, there's no bladder, no kidneys, skin edema, just went on and on and on. I remember feeling very out of control and very helpless, and certainly very sad, and also trying to think, how am I going to explain this to the kids, and how are they going to understand this?
The ultrasounds also revealed that Rachel had full placenta previa, a condition where the placenta attaches to the cervix underneath the baby. If Rachel went into labor, she could bleed to death.
It's difficult to be with your wife as she's hearing this information. It was definitely a time of sorrow. What do you do when your wife is really upset and I can't fix it? That's when the praying started, really, to calm us down, to get us prepared for what was going to happen.
Rachel's doctors recommended that she terminate the pregnancy.
I remember thinking that we just have to give God the opportunity to work here. And termination wasn't an option. It wasn't something that we were going to do, because regardless of how it turned out, we wanted to give God the opportunity to do something great. I remember saying to the doctor, "We're just going to wait and see." And she looked at me and she said, "What are you waiting for?" And before I could even answer, she said, "If you're waiting for a miracle, it's not going to happen."
Rachel and Silvano surrounded themselves with family and friends and prayed.
What really became so apparent to me is that we weren't alone. We had God, and we had our amazing friends who were with us all the time.
Deep prayer and that conversation you have with God is the kind that really helps you to get through these times.
As Rachel neared her due date, she had one more ultrasound to check the condition of the placenta previa. She asked the technician to check the baby as well. They were stunned when he told them what he saw.
And he was going around and he said, "Oh, well, there's the baby's bladder." And I said, "Bladder? The baby doesn't have a bladder." And he said, "Well, sure it does, and it's full of urine." And I said, "Excuse me?" I said, "The baby doesn't have any kidneys." And he said, "Well, you don't have urine in the bladder with no kidneys."
Every time they would say something was fixed, I was praying to God, I said, "Please, Lord, don't let this stop. Don't let this stop." I mean, that's all I could think about. Don't let this stop.
The technician called in the doctor, and together they looked over the findings. Even the placenta previa had been corrected.
For about what seemed like an eternity, they silently looked at the screen and at my chart, and he's reviewing things, and they were going through it. It was so fascinating to watch the doctors be really confused. And I remember thinking that this is God, because they really don't know what's going on here. And at the very end, the doctor looked at us and he said, "Don't quote me on this, but I don't see any of the problems that they say exist."
Rachel brought her pregnancy to term, and to the amazement of her doctors, Isabella Paferi came into the world a healthy baby girl, every organ perfectly in place.
Even though this miracle, this work of God is for us, because we have a child, I think it's not for us. It's for us to show to others.
We want to share the struggle as much as the victory, to show others that this can be overcome. When you have no control at all and you think, "I could never survive it," you can. You can survive it. And God will give you the people, He'll give you the comfort, He'll give you the right message at the right time.
Silvano and Rachel joyfully share what they have learned during their time of need. Little Isabella is a constant reminder of the power and love of God in their lives.
We put our faith in God, and it just changed us.
We don't have control over everything, and we have to rely on God. And we're so glad that we gave God the opportunity to work, because some people may not have, and they would have missed out on an amazing, amazing miracle.